How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Tuesday, May the 27th, 2025. It's your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. I want to thank all you good folk out there in YouTube land for continuing to rock out with my son and I. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Well, family, I'm back with another video. And in this video, I am going to be adding some commentary to another video that my son dropped today titled Travis Hunter Got Married with No Prenuptial Agreement. And my son brought up some excellent talking points from his views and perspective. And, he went on to say how, with the Hispanic women, uh, they typically are loyal. However, with Hispanic women, they can be just as outspoken and in a lot of ways just as masculine as a black woman. So my son went on to elaborate and say how, basically the internet and everybody else was telling this young man, Travis Hunter, hey, bro, you need to be careful if you gonna marry this woman, at least have a mechanism in place that will protect you. And as my son said, oftentimes with the internet, very few people have nice things to say. But in this situation, this young lady, Travis Hunter, now wife, she kind of brought it on herself. There were some times when they were out and he was doing different functions that had to do with football. She was throwing a temper tantrum all because it seemed like it wasn't about her. And ma'am, what you got to understand, Travis is the superstar, not you. All you was doing was waiting at the finish line and saying, "Yeah, here I am, here I am." You didn't catch not one pass. You didn't make not one tackle. You did not do one push up. You did not do one wind sprint. You didn't do none of that. And it's a shame that a lot of these women, they luck up and they get with these athletes without really having to do a whole lot, but just wait at the finish line. So nobody's saying that this young man shouldn't have gotten married because I think marriage is a beautiful thing if it's with the right person. But if it's with the wrong person, you are inviting the devil himself into your life. And some of these women can be other demons when it comes down to it because nobody thinks about what's going to happen, a few years down the line. Nobody thinks about that. Everybody's in this bliss of marriage and this honeymoon bliss, and we all in love. And then 5 years from now, after she done spit out a baby or two, probably done cheated on you, probably done got her bike blowed out from some other ball player or a rapper. And now you find yourself in court, you find yourself faced with the fact this woman might get half your shit. And then you gonna wish that you perhaps had a mechanism, a prenup, or something in place that could halfway protect you. But you know what, family? I'm gonna go on ahead. I'm gonna let this young lady tell y'all what the deal is and why it's important for men to protect their assets. It ain't got nothing personal. Nobody's doing it because men don't get prenups because they don't trust a woman, but they get prenups just as a what if. And here's the thing. If your ass is broke and you dusty and you a little pookie, you don't need a prenup. A prenup's not for you. But if you got some assets, you got some things, you got some wealth, oh, you better think long and hard about a prenuptial agreement, especially if you're entertaining the idea of getting married. But I'm gonna let this young lady in this street interview enlighten y'all on some things.
32.
And what do you do for work?
I'm a divorce lawyer.
As a divorce lawyer, would you say that divorces are initiated most by men or by women?
Women, 90% of the time.
Why is that the case?
I think that they yap with their friends, and I think they get real frustrated where guys are like, I'll get to it tomorrow. And I think the women just get in their heads and they're like, all right, I'm done.
So it's the women who are sabotaging their own relationships?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of it is that they're getting with their girlfriends, they're angry, they just get frustrated, and they have a lot of people in their ears. And I think they just want to, when they're done, they're done.
But surely, as a woman, you shouldn't tolerate any and everything in a relationship.
Definitely not at all, but I feel like things build up really easily with people, and they're talking about it more, where you're like pissed off and you get kind of over it quickly.
But how long have you been a divorce attorney?
Probably like since 2016 I've been practicing, and then 2017 officially barred.
So being that you've been in the field for 8+ years, do you think that marriage is outdated now?
Outdated, but it's a more acceptable to get divorced, right? Because like we're seeing it a lot more. It's not taboo, so it's changed.
Do you think that sexless marriages can work?
No, and 100%. Every single time, I mostly work for men, so every single time they're in a consult with me, I'm always hearing, I haven't had sex in 10 years, I haven't had sex in 5 years, I haven't had sex in 15 years, and I'm like, here we go again. The sex talk every single time. So it's like you need to make sure you're doing it like 3 to 4. I would say like 3, 2. Sometimes you want to go like 2 times, 2 to 3, but it really should be like 4. 2 to 4 times is ideal.
So a lack of sex in these marriages is the most common theme that you're seeing when they end.
Yeah, because it's connected to more of that. It's not just physical.
So, family, y'all heard this. This young lady been practicing law for about 8 years. And in her professional experience, women file for divorce 90% of the time. So, with that being said, what's the odds that this good brother Travis Hunter may not end up getting a divorce? The odds are not on his side. Now, I'm not saying that they can't turn out to be an anomaly and go on to have a fruitful, bountiful marriage. But I just don't know. It's just something about this young lady that it's just something about her that gives me, it gives me pause to feel like this man, if I would have been his mentor or older brother or uncle, I would have like, hey man, you probably want to protect yourself. And I would have shown him examples like this as to why. And I know he's probably gonna say, well, that's them girls. My girl different. She ain't like that. She ain't like that. And at that point, you have to let a person learn from their own mistakes. You can try to impart wisdom to a person and say, hey, listen, this is not that you don't trust her, but it's just a what if, so you can protect yourself in the event that she starts, whatever the reason, don't want to be married anymore. It's called a safety blanket. And, a safety blanket is like a condom. It's better to have it and not need it, and need it and not have it. Because that's the difference between something that can perhaps change the whole trajectory of your life. One oops, one F up, all because you got sloppy.
It's like, all right, well, if you're not into someone and you're disgusted by them and you're pissed off at them, you're not going to be having sex with them, right? Because you're going to be unattracted to them, you're going to be irritated, and you're not going to be into them, so you're not going to be banging them.
So why do you think people stay in these relationships for so long?
I think they stay in it just because it's comfortable and it's easy and it's really hard. This is marriage is a breakup on steroids. Like if you're gonna get a divorce, it's not just like I'm moving my shit out, bye-bye. It's like if there's kids involved, forget about it. It's like your whole life is upended. It's a major decision. Your family's affected, your life is affected. Half your crap is gone. So it's a little bit tougher than with just a simple breakup.
When a couple goes through a divorce, what's the process typically entail?
Someone has to file, first and foremost, someone's got to file. So you got to fill out the paperwork, file it with the court, and then you've got to serve someone, or they have to sign something saying they've gotten it. So either you have a random stranger who's hired by a service, or you have someone that you know, go and hand them the paperwork, which is always awkward. Or you can tell them, hey, I'm going to divorce you, and you're going to sign this document saying you've received this, which is always awkward.
So wait, they don't send a sheriff out to serve them, or?
You can't, like, some people will do that where you can get a constable, but it's not a sheriff. If there's a restraining order, you get a sheriff to do it.
Okay.
That's a whole nother.
So they sign that, then what happens?
Then they have in California, they've got 30 days to file a response. In Massachusetts, where I'm also barred, like, they can just respond. So someone has to respond to it and say, all right, yeah, I want a divorce too, and this is what I want to do. And it's a simple paperwork.
So party A agrees for the divorce, and so does party B. Does that mean that they're officially divorced and that's fun, or?
No, I wish. It'd make things a lot easier, but no, you got to go through this whole rigmarole. All right, well, what do you have? Show me your paperwork for the past. Show me your bank accounts. Show me your credit card statements. Show me everything. I want to see what your financial assets are. So you got to break it down each person, which causes problems, right? Because someone's on OnlyFans, you're seeing it in their bank account. Because unlike, Ashley Madison, they used to hide it as American Bank. OnlyFans just says straight up OnlyFans. They have no shame with their billing. So you start seeing these kind of charges and you go, all right, well, we need to do more. I got to look into this. What else have you done? Have you gone to hotels? I want to see more bank statements. Take me back 5 years.
And so this can expose more infidelity in a relationship.
Yeah, and problems. So it's like, all right, now you're doing a deep dive and now you're starting to snoop through stuff and you've got some problems.
Okay. But after that process is done with the financial assets and looking at that, is it just the man had... So after that part's done, is it the man has made 100K and the girl makes 50K, so the girl gets 25 from the man, or what?
No. Then you're going to be looking at a whole complicated state-by-state calculation of, all right, how long were you married? Who paid what? Who's doing what? Who can earn what? Like, so now you're looking at all the potential of that, and you're going to get a crazy calculation. And if you're married for a decent amount of time, you're going to get some spousal support. If you're, like, say the guy's paying all the bills, woman's at home. The guy's going to pay up. He's going to be paying a good amount, and it's going to be for, in California, if it's less than 10 years, he'll be paying half the length of the marriage. Massachusetts, you go, it goes to 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20. It doesn't go, it's more regulated, but just depends.
Being a divorce lawyer for 8 years, are you for prenups or are you against them?
Prenups are amazing. I'm a big fan of prenups. When some of my friends get married, instead of giving them a blender, I give them a prenup because it's a lot more useful, and I just do it for free and set it up, and I know the relationships, you know what to put in there, and it's great. So prenups, and you have a roadmap, basically, of what you're going to do. You can save like 50K on average if you have a prenup, like easily, because you already say you divide this, do that, and you can put future stuff in there. So a vacation home, okay, I have no vacation home right now, but you put it in the prenup and you can divide your vacation home, or say you have a business, divide your business a certain way, you do certain things.
But if prenups are so simple, why are so many women against it?
Because they want as much as they can get, obviously. I mean, you're not going to go to someone and say, hey, you want half can I give you half the amount you're supposed to get? Who would take that deal? Not many people, so it's not a very appealing thing. It's like going to someone who's ordering a sandwich and said, let me give you half the sandwich. Who's gonna eat that sandwich? You want the full sandwich.
And what's the biggest misconception you've noticed when it comes on to divorces?
I don't think they're as taboo as they need to be. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's so bad, and it's like ruins your whole life. It doesn't. I think like there's a lot of times where people find their second loves, and that seems to be really amazing, and they seem so much more happier and balanced. So it shouldn't be as taboo, and that's a misconception.
Have you ever had to represent a client over multiple marriages?
Yeah, and every single time I'm like, don't do it, man, don't do it. Can you get a prenup? Can you do something? And I have like multiple clients that are like, all right, here we go again. I just tell them don't do it, and they just do it. And I'm like, all right, see you soon.
Are you single?
No, I'm married.
How long have you been married?
About 5 years.
So how does your job make you view your relationship with him?
Just like more, you're looking out a little bit more. You're like, all right, I need to maybe work on things a little bit more. You see stuff that's alarming. And when you're dating as a divorce lawyer, it gets a little crazy, right? Because you're like, all right, let me see how he is angry. Let me see how he is when he's sad. Let me make sure I go through a major event before I commit. Let me see how it is living with this person. So you have to be more aware.
So would you say that mentally it still puts a strain on your relationship, or it's just as easy as like working at a 9 to 5?
Wouldn't say with the strain. I think it like makes it stronger because you know what not to do. Basically, you're like, all right, if I do this, this might be a problem because you see so many guys complain about like my wife didn't do this, my wife didn't do that, and that bothered me. So I make sure not to do those things.
So, family, you heard it for yourself from a divorce attorney. She absolutely loves prenups. And as she said, when her girlfriends get married, she don't get it. She don't give her girlfriend no blender. She give her girlfriend a prenuptial agreement because down the line, that is going to protect you. Now, if her girlfriends ain't bringing a whole bunch to the table from a financial aspect, why she giving them a prenup, I don't know. But you heard all the reasons that she gave as to why prenuptial agreements should not be looked at as a slap in the face. When you tell a woman, hey, I love you, I want to marry you, but I want to protect myself so that in the future, because we don't know what the future holds. So in the future, if things go astray, well, then I'm not getting bent over the rail. I'm not getting bamboozled and hoodwinked up in family court. And if this woman has a problem with it, with signing a prenuptial agreement, you might want to be careful. You might want to give some thought to, is this the person that you really want to marry? So I don't know if Travis Hunter had. I'm pretty sure that Coach Deion Sanders talked to this young man and told him, "Hey man, you better be careful. From my, what I went through and my experiences, you might want to have something in place." But at the end of the day, this young man is in love, and when you're in love, love is all blissful and it's perfection until that shit goes sideways. And when it goes sideways, and I hope it don't because he said this young man is talented. And no one deserves to work their ass off to get to the point of the NFL, to get to the pinnacle of your sport. And you playing with other young great men, man, and being coached by strong foundational minded men, man, that's awesome. And then you making a shitload of money while doing it. But with that comes great responsibility. And I think that's where these young men go astray. They get with these Instagram models, or they get with the girl who, and I get it. You know what? We don't know his girl. Just like Patrick Mahomes dated his wife in school and they ended up getting married. But when you look at his wife, man, she's an athlete as well. You don't hear, you didn't hear her, showing her ass when this man was going through the process of being, becoming a part of the NFL. She didn't behave like Travis Hunter wife did. So at the end of the day, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And sometimes people have to bang their head on the cement and learn the hard way. I hope that this young man don't find himself in a situation where a fool and his money will soon depart. Well, family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.